Hi, readers. I wanted to start off our lesson with a quick reminder, and that is that there are many different books in a series. And not all of you started off reading the same book. Um, Once you finish the book that you just started, you will be able to choose another book in the series, and it does not matter which book you choose. Now, some of you might be done the first book you started, and some of you might not be done, and that is perfectly okay. The one thing we are going to start with today is I want you to think of one thing that you have learned so far about your main or star character. So go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to think of the one of the things you've learned so far about that main character. So go ahead. Now that you've had time to think about that, today I want to teach you that when you read a bunch of books across a series, sometimes you'll notice things about the character that are the same in book after book. So, series books are actually pretty predictable. Picking up a series book, is a lot like tuning in to watch a new episode of your favorite TV show. The characters are often the same, and the things that they do are often the same. Just like Cam Jansen. Cam Jansen is always solving a crime. Every single book, she is solving some sort of crime. Mudge and Henry Mudge. Mudge is always drooling on Henry. And Biscuit. What is Biscuit always doing? Biscuit is always getting into some sort of trouble in the Biscuit series. So things that you've been noticing in the book that you have first picked to read, you might notice these same things in the next book that you pick. So let's see how we do it with our frog and toad example. So, in our last two lessons, I read the chapter called Tomorrow in Frog and Toad. Today, we are going to be looking at a new Frog and Toad story, and it is called The Kite. So, we're going to get to find out if we see some of these same things about Toad and Frog. So, again, we are trying to notice what is the same about the characters in this story to what we read last time in the story called Tomorrow. So let's see. Here we go. The kite. So Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. Our kite will fly up and up, said Frog. It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky. Toad, said Frog, I will hold the ball of string. You hold the kite and run. Toad ran across the meadow. He ran as fast as his short legs could carry him. The kite went up in the air. It fell to the ground with a bump. Toad heard laughter. Three robins were sitting in a bush. That kite will not fly, said the robins. You may as well give up. Toad ran back to Frog. Frog, said Toad, this kite will not fly. I give up. We're going to pause right here, and I want you to pause the video and think. What did we just notice about Toad that might be the same as the last story that we just read? So go ahead and pause the video. Now that you've had some time to think, let's see if we were thinking of the same thing. So what I noticed was that Toad was giving up. And it sounded very similar to when he gave up in Tomorrow. He realized all the things he needed to do, and at first, he just wanted to hide under the sheets and give up and not want to do it. So that is something that I'm seeing is kind of the same with Toad. So let's keep reading and see if we find out anything else. We must make a second try, said Frog. Wave the kite over your head. Perhaps that will make it fly. Toad ran back across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. The kite went up in the air and then fell down with a thud. What a joke, said the robins. The kite will never get off the ground. So we're going to stop here in our story because I did just see something that made me think that Frog was acting the same as he was in the last story. And I want you to see if you agree and if you can find it. So go ahead and pause the video. And I want you to think, what was the same in this story that Frog did as the last story we read? So go ahead and pause the video. Now that you've had some time to think, let's see if we picked up on the same things. So what I was noticing was that Frog was still trying to be helpful. He was trying to fix the problem of the kite situation. And he wasn't letting Toad give up. Just like in Tomorrow, when Toad didn't want to do his chores, Frog kept telling him, no, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And then Toad was asking, well, if I do it today, does that mean I still have to do it tomorrow? And Frog said, no, you won't have to do it tomorrow. So Frog was still trying to be helpful, and he was still not letting Toad give up. So those are two things that I already noticed were the same with these characters in this story as the last story. And you are going to try to do this in your story. So let me show you your directions. And this is our new anchor chart that we will be adding. It is notice the things that are the same across the series. So here are your directions. You are going to read either the next chapter in the book that you started, or if you are ready, the next book in your series. And again, you can pick any book that was assigned to you. It does not have to be in order, it can be any book that you choose. Also, you do not have to be finished with your first book in order to start the second book. If you think you've learned enough from the first book already about your characters, you can go ahead and start another book. What you want to do is pay attention to how the star character or characters are the same. So what we just did, we just noticed how Frog and Toad were the same from the first story to the next story. That is the same thing that you are going to be doing with your character. And again, you're going to upload your discoveries and your thoughts to Padlet. You again may record yourself talking, or you can type it out. And I gave you another sentence starter at the bottom if you choose to use it. It says, my character is the same in this chapter or book because he or she still either likes, dislikes, or solves a problem by blank. You can choose how you write it. You don't have to use that sentence starter. I will say, though, to take a look at some of the other students' answers on the Padlet, because since everybody is not reading the same book, you can actually see if you agree with them and are seeing some of these same things that your other classmates are posting in your book. It'd be something cool to see. So that is all for our lesson today, and I will see you all next time. Bye.